Hello and welcome. My name is Ali Goff. I'm the owner and founder of Goff Legal. And today I'm going to answer the question, what is the difference between an estate planner and an estate attorney? Sounds very similar, arguably could be the same thing, but where I'm going to go through a few things to make sure you understand the difference and know when to hire which one. So, estate planning attorney. First of all, that is someone who deals in estates. Obviously, we're talking about wills, powers of attorney, healthcare directives, probate avoidance, all those sorts of things. So if you hear one of those words, we're planning an estate, meaning your stuff. It does not mean you're a millionaire or a multi-millionaire. It means whatever stuff you have could be very small, could be just a house and a car, could be your bank account. An estate is whatever you own. An attorney is someone who is licensed to practice law in the state. In California, we have passed the California bar, and we're allowed to give legal advice, which means we can say things like, a trust does this and a will does this, and based on your circumstances, I would recommend this. We can give recommendations, we can interpret the laws, we can represent you in court, we can file paperwork, we can help interpret those things and negotiate on your behalf. Now, there are estate planners, and sometimes they use that word not to plan your estate where it goes when you die or who's in charge of it when you're incapacitated, but to plan to grow your estate. So, an estate planner might be someone in the financial industry where they're not creating legal documents for you. They shouldn't be. They are helping plan your estate. They might help organize it and go, okay, you have this much in cash, this much in investments, these pieces of real estate. Let's plan where it goes. Let's get it all organized. Tell me your goals. And now let's find an attorney to turn those goals, this plan, into a set of legal documents that can be executed and followed. I do know there are financial advisors who are creating estate plans. They're using a bunch of software, a lot of it AI generated. They have no experience actually planning estates. They're not allowed to give legal advice. And when you sign that contract to get that whatever $700 trust you're going to get from them, it's going to say something like, I'm not an attorney. I can't give you legal advice. And the question I would ask them is, if you can't give me legal advice, why are we drafting legal documents? And if you can't tell me what they say, why would I sign them? No, no. Now, there's some phenomenal financial planners, financial estate planners, right? They use that word because they're helping plan your estate. We collaborate with them on a regular basis. I love working with financial planners who are really thinking about not just what we're thinking about, incapacity and death, and how are we transferring assets, but they're thinking about some of the tax implications, income tax implications today. They're thinking about how to grow your assets, how much you're going to spend in retirement, what's your gifting strategy to minimize some of those taxes, what kind of risk tolerance do you have, right? They're planning your estate, they're growing it for you. It really should be estate growers. Also, some different connotations. Anyways, versus an estate attorney, which is someone who is licensed to practice law. You might also find online some LDAs, which are legal document assistants. They are licensed, but they are not attorneys. They cannot give you legal advice, and those documents should be reviewed very carefully by an attorney. There's lots of people who will sell you all sorts of stuff. I think it's really important that you ask those sorts of questions. Can you give me legal advice? Can you tell me which one I should do? Here's the other thing, fun fact. If they're not a licensed attorney and they don't have insurance coverage to cover them, if they draft the wrong documents for you, they give you bad advice, there's nothing you can do. You can't sue them for malpractice because they're not an attorney. They didn't give you legal advice and they have no insurance to cover that. So really consider where you're getting your advice and who you're getting it from and what does it mean when you save a few bucks to work with someone who does it for cheaper because they're not an attorney. Anyways, today's unsolicited thoughts. Actually, maybe they're solicited because you came here wanting to know the difference between a planner and an attorney. That was a lot of information, but I hope that was helpful. If you want any information about our estate planning firm, it is gofflegal.com.